Welcome back to Cossy Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. Arsenal are not yet done in the market. We have agreed a deal with Brentford to sign their goalkeeper David Raya, and now Arsenal will focus on signing Mohamed Kudus next in the last days of the transfer window. This could be a 10 out of 10 transfer window. This could be one of the best transfer windows Arsenal have ever had. Hit that like button for me, subscribe to the podcast as well. One more signing to make this one a 10 out of 10. Let me know in the comment box below which one signing would make this window a 10 out of 10. And where do you rate our window right now? Is it an 8 out of 10? Is it a 9 out of 10 for you? Is it a 7 out of 10? 4 signings: David Raya, Jalen Timber, Kai Havertz, and Rice. Where do you rate this window about now, out of 10? Let me know in the comment box below. But of course, we're going to be diving into the details of the David Raya deal. And Kieran Tierney is in talks with Real Sociedad as well as Arsenal to get him over to Spain, as Real Sociedad want him on a loan and Arsenal want a permanent deal. Let's get this video to 500 likes and let's see what exactly is happening with these deals. Now, first and foremost, of course, I've spoken about this in the last video. Arsenal have agreed a £30 million deal in terms of total package to get David Raya to the Emirates Stadium. However, the details, as far as I understand, we are going to pay £28 million in terms of fixed fee and £2 million in terms of add-in. So it's a good deal for both sides. I think quality goalkeeper at 27 for 30 million, less than 30 million actually, around 28 fixed. The add-ons, probably they will be achieved, probably they will be not. And it's a good deal for Raya, because when you're 27, you want to go to a bigger club. You want to go to a club where your full potential is going to be maximized. And as a player, how is your full potential maximized? Silverware. You've got to win silverware. If he comes in at Arsenal and probably becomes our goalkeeper in the Carabao Cup and FA Cup, and we win either of the trophies, he will be very he'll be very happy. And that is how you become a top goalkeeper. That is how you become actually a top player. But then it's a very good deal for Brentford as well. Brentford signed him in 2015 from Blackburn. Guess what? For 2.7 million. That is a huge profit. They bought him at 2.7 million. They've sold him at 28. That is that 100 times more? That is 100 times? Is it 10, 100 times? They have made enormous profits. Now, listen, this amount is not going to come at once, but we know 28 of that is fixed. 28 million of that is actually fixed. So Brentford have actually made about 25 million in terms of profit on one player, on David Raya. That has been very, very good business, but of course Arsenal will not mind, because they've always seen this as a very good opportunity on the market, as reported. Now, according to Ryan Taylor, Mikel Arteta has also been very key in this deal. He's been central to the deal for David Raya to join Arsenal. He called the player, talked to him, and explained to him his profile and why he actually wants him and what he brings to the team and how it would actually make Arsenal a little bit better. It has been kind of a common theme, Mikel Arteta phoning players, talking to them, at times meeting them 1v1. For the case of Declan Rice, Arsenal met with the family of Declan Rice 1v1 in person. Was it over dinner? I really do not know. But the father was very, very much aware, because Arsenal approached them and they presented the project. So again, this was another scenario where Mikel Arteta decided, I'm going to sign David Raya by talking to him and convincing him. So he convinced him in person. And according to Romano, in the last couple of minutes, David Raya wanted Arsenal only. So the one thing we've seen in this window is literally many players we've signed have turned down other bigger clubs to join Arsenal. The players we wanted actually only wanted to join Arsenal. Kai Havertz was on the transfer radar of Real Madrid. He could have pushed for a move. He could have rebelled against Chelsea, but I tell you what, he was very calm, waited for Arsenal, turned down Bayern. For a German player to turn down Bayern, that is huge. That is actually very, very huge. The same thing with David Raya. Not to Tottenham, not to Bayern, not to all these other clubs. I'm having a feeling that Arsenal could have looked at David Raya and talked to him prior this month. It could be a deal where we probably met the family of the guy, or we met the guy and his agent in July or even in June and told him, We are waiting for that price tag to come down. Do not go anywhere. This deal is going to get done. We will actually sign you. So Mikel Arteta has been key again in getting David Raya to sign for Arsenal. The player only wanted us, and Arsenal have agreed to pay a fixed fee of only 28 million. Right, on to the next one. Now, that doesn't mean we are done. Yes, he's gonna sign a 5-year deal plus one, but that does not mean Arsenal are done. Arsenal now will focus on Mohamed Kudus as our next target in the window, as Mikel Arteta wants another player to give us that kind of depth on the right-hand side, especially where Saka plays. According to what I understand, Arsenal could do one more signing. It could be one more signing. Now, as far as I remember, when we signed Jelen Timber, I said it was gonna we would do one more signing. I said it was gonna take one more signing to convince me that Arsenal are done. I tell you what, that signing is done. That signing has already arrived in David Raya. But something still, my instinct tells me that Arsenal will sign another player, and that player could be Mohamed Kudus. Now, I'm not really going to say Kudus is going to be an Arsenal player, because we know the agreement between Ajax and Brighton. We know Brighton offer Premier League football. We know Brighton offer UEFA Europa League football as well. So he might be tempted, but Arsenal will focus on that. And that's where I want to ask you the big question. This is our transfer window so far. Sorry for the blank space. This is our transfer window so far. Arsenal have really done very well in terms of getting in players. We have signed 4 players at the moment. Number 1 is Jelen Timber. Number 2 is Declan Rice. Number 3 is Kai Havertz. And number 4 is David Raya. That is our transfer window so far. The question is, rate for me that transfer window out of 10. And name for me one more signing that makes that a 10 out of 10 for you. Okay? Out of 10, where do you rate it? And let me know one more signing that could actually get it over the line. Now, for me, it's Mohamed Kudus. If Arsenal can get Kudus, on top of all these signings, on top of all these guys, we get Kudus through the door. We get him, somehow we get him to agree a deal to Arsenal. Somehow we get Ajax to agree. We add him to Kai Havertz. We add him to Declan Rice. We add him to the Jelen Timber signing. It's a 10 out of 10. I won't even mind the outgoings. I wouldn't even mind how much we've done in terms of outgoings. If you get Kudus to give you that kind of, depth for Odegaard and depth for Saka, it's a 10 out of 10. I would say it's a 10 out of 10. But let's wait and see. Now, we are doing some work in terms of outgoings, like I reported in my last video. It looks like one of those deals is also getting very close. Talks have begun between Kieran and Arsenal, plus Real Sociedad, in order to get the player and his future sorted. So Real Sociedad have presented an offer to Arsenal, a loan deal with an option to buy, and at the end of the season, Arsenal are still a little bit reluctant and adamant about that. They're saying, if you're going to take one of our best players, if you're going to take out one of our best defenders, how about a permanent deal or a loan option plus an obligation to buy? I think Arsenal are very smart here, and we're very clever. One, you do not want to lose Kieran on a loan deal. Like, it makes no sense. Ourselves with FA Cup and Carabao Cup football, we are going to use him. We will use his services. He's going to be a vital player for us if he stays around. Like, at left back, for you to be playing in the Carabao Cup with Kieran at left back, with Tomiyasu at right back, at centre back having maybe Jelen Timber and anyone else, it's Kivio, it would be interesting. Kieran staying at Arsenal, it makes us better rather than worse. But of course, in the transfer market, you've got to bite the bullet. There are times where you've got to bite the bullet. And this is one of those areas, this is one of those scenarios where Arsenal will have to bite the bullet. So, for me, Tierney has around 2 years left on his deal, isn't it? Either Arsenal allow him to extend his deal and go out on loan, so that when he comes back and he's had regular football, we would sell him for good money, or sell him now. A loan plus an obligation to buy is not a bad deal, because, listen, we might not be able to find someone who wants to pay, all that money straightforward. 30, 35. But if Real Sociedad can commit themselves to paying 25 or 30 million for Kieran, give the player to them. A loan deal without an obligation to buy, it's pure nonsense unless the player signs a new deal at Arsenal. I think Arsenal being very logical here. I love the way we are handling ourselves. We are being logical, we are not panicking, and we are also not crumbling under pressure. What I don't like is that even after a long period of negotiations, we are still being bullied around. 7 million for Matt Turner, 13 million we want for Tavares. I don't agree with these prices. I really do not agree with these prices. We are operating in the Arsene Wenger market, yet we are in the Pep Guardiola PSG Saudi Arabian market. The Saudi Arabian market is where everyone says, what's up? The Saudi Arabian market is where everyone says 700,000 a week. This is where everyone says 50 million Balogun, 70 million maybe Partey. But I just don't understand how we are doing our business. But anyway, Kudus next on the line. David Raya done, and we're having talks with Real Sociedad to give them Kieran Tierney. I'll speak to you right in the next one. If you love these videos, if you love the shorter version of the podcast, just hit the like button and let me know in the comment box below that I'm saving your data. I'll see you right in the next one, of course.